Hello everyone, I am here today to show you my planner for 2022 and kind of talk about how I came about it. Now, quick background. In 2019, I ordered this planner from Mochi Things, and it's this planner that's called Mon Journal. It's by a brand called Ochek. I really liked it. It was great. It was sturdy, was super a fan. So then when 2020 rolled around, I went to the same website and once again got my Mon Journal by Ochek. So then 2021 comes and the website Mochi Things is no longer carrying this planner. I even emailed them and they said, no, we're not going to have that this year. So I ordered this planner and I've made a couple of videos on it. One where I got it and was excited, and the other where I talked about the fact that it's falling apart. The binding did not hold and I have held it together. Focus. I've held it together with a combination of duct tape and various tapes that all peel off also because of the material the cover is made out of. Like, not the greatest. I mean, it's been sturdy, it's been useful once I taped it up. But honestly, this is sad. I want something that just stays together on its own. So when it came to ordering a planner this year, I knew I did not want to go back to this one. I thought, as I always do, long and hard about totally changing my system. I even thought about what if I get the Hobonichi this year. I have a whole other video about that, and the notebook that I settled on that is not a Hobonichi but is trying to satisfy that craving. And ultimately, I decided, well, I know what used to work, so why don't I just go back to what works? So I went to the internet, I googled Mon Journal Ochek, and I found a website that carried it. And so that's what I got. This year I have once again ordered a Mon Journal planner, and I got it from this website that I guess Fallindesign is how you would pronounce it. Prices are pretty much the same as they were at Mochi Things, it looks like. The book itself was about $42 or $46, I think, maybe with tax. And then of course I had to pay for shipping, and the shipping was coming from Korea. It took several days. I did like the standard shipping. So it came from Korea, it stopped in California, and then it came here. So this came in a bag. I've already taken it out of the bag. I've already looked at it, but I'm just going to show it to you. This planner, yeah, it was packed in a bag, which was actually ripped open. And I don't think anybody tampered with it. I think it was just an accident. But then it came sealed in so much bubble wrap that was completely taped all the way around that even though the bag had been kind of ripped open on one end, the planner was like completely fine because there were so many layers protecting it. So they just gave me this little sticker, and then I had these, like I said, layers and layers of bubble wrap, and then the planner itself was encased in a plastic sleeve as well. Now, the interesting thing here, I'm going to flash up on the screen right now the product images that I was looking at on this website. I don't think that they are the images that belong to that website necessarily. I think they are the images that come from the company, because if you've spent any length of time on like Mochi Things or Fallindesign, like both of them, all these Korean like paper products have these beautifully designed photos, and they all have like the same kind of aesthetic, and you kind of expect them all to look a certain way. So I had an expectation of the color that this planner would be. So you've seen the light blue, that's the color I chose, but when the planner came, this is the color. Now, I actually waffled with my choice of light blue because in the last couple of months, I picked up this planner. It was just at, what's it called? TJ Maxx. It's got these plasticky, bendy covers. We've got the holographic Snoopy at his typewriter. Yeah, see, he turns rainbow in the light. And I love Snoopy at his typewriter. It's just a very basic, I'll turn to some later pages, just like this, you know. And I'm not using it as an actual planner. I'm honestly using it a little more like a journal. I'm writing a few things about my writing process in it. There goes a motorcycle. And so I already have this light blue book that goes through almost the summer, and I was like, well, I don't want two light blue books, but oh well. And to me, this color looked the same as the one on the website. However, this seems like a much different color. Honestly, in some lights, to me, this blue looks almost green. It looks like almost a sea foamy green, or it's just a very robin's eggy blue, or it's a very greeny blue. The color, I mean, it says here, they just call it light blue. Yeah, it was interesting. This was encased in like a vacuum seal plastic, whatever you call it, and this was all torn up kind of here on the side. Which, you know, this is just the paper wrapper that comes on these things. But the book itself is like totally fine, completely unaffected. So I really appreciate that. Fallindesign did a great job packaging. So if you've watched any of my videos, you're familiar with, oh, look, now we've got a different inscription on the back. You're familiar with this planner, but I'll just kind of show you real quick. We have, you know, front page. It's got really heavy cardstock. It's textured, if you can see that. And then we have like your cover page where you write some information. We've got the 2022 and 2023 calendars. And then we have this, which I believe in one book actually was labeled the Yearly Plan. I remember discovering that, and now they just don't label it at all. There's just like, here's this, and we go all the way to 31, and you have columns. I really like the way they've changed the design. You have a long box and then also a smaller box, which was not something in the previous books. Okay, that just went closed, but actually I've discovered that's a different format than it used to be. So in the 2019 and 2020 versions, I'm just showing you 19 because it has less in it, and I'm, you know, privacy reasons. But at the beginning, and this is of course also where I did find the Yearly Plan. So it was actually this format where, if I can hold this out, there we go. We had these columns, and it's the same thing on the left facing page, but you just had these long columns to put things. And I actually used that to make a pretty cute spread in my 2020 planner, which again, privacy reasons I won't show to you. But like I kind of put the highlights at the end of each month. But instead now we have this like tracker sort of thing, which is great because I use trackers like this in my current planner, and I'm going to be thinking about which ones I want to carry over. Some of them I might not, but you know, it's good to have this space and to have like a smaller space and then a larger space. So then we begin in December. In previous planners, we actually started in November, but this one doesn't start till December of this year. And then we follow the traditional format of now here's the month, and then we get into each week. And this of course is a Monday start. That's how these work. And we've got these great like vertical boxes, which I don't know, is that what you would call this? When people say a vertical planner, normally they mean it's just a bunch of columns, which I don't like super skinny columns, but like, I don't know, is it a grid? It's not a horizontal planner because that also means something else, but in any case. So then we go through, we have all that, etc., etc. Here's our ribbon. It's a kind of cream color, very nice. Randomly on the week of my birthday, nice job, oh check. And then we go through, etc., go to the end of the year, and then we get our grid note. So we have several pages of the grid, which I use to create trackers for myself. Then we have several pages of lined, and then we have several blank pages. And then at the very, very back, we have the personal info where you put, I love this, your name, your birthday, your mobile phone, your email, and your motto. And then once again, we have the heavy cardstock, and the final feature is we have a pretty sizable pocket at the back, which is why this elastic especially comes in handy. The material of this is just like the other two. It's a very smooth I don't know, I might say faux leather sort of idea. It's not very textured, but there's like a little bit of texture, which you can maybe see from where I'm holding it, from where I kind of move it in the light. It feels very smooth and pleasing, and I already know the binding of this is good. It's sturdy. In the past, I have had the ribbon fall out because I've been kind of rough with them, but you can easily open it up like this, insert the ribbon in here with some hot glue, and just with a little fiddling, put it back in, because I did that several times in my 2020 planner. And yeah, it does lay flat with relatively little fussing on your part to make that happen. Ooh. I love this planner because the paper is super thick. Sometimes you order a planner and it says it's got a certain GSM, and then you get it in and it just doesn't, the paper does not feel that thick, but the paper here is very thick. It's very luxurious. We've got these nice rounded corners. Yeah, and I'm really excited to start figuring out what kind of trackers and other things I'm going to put in this book. And probably I'll show them to you later. I'll talk about what I put in my previous planner, what I'm carrying over, what I'm not, what I've found is useful to me. I am really happy to have this as my planner for the coming year, even though it's not the light blue I expected it to be. I honestly thought that this year's colors were a little basic, and that maybe I'd kind of had you know, those colors recently in other things. So this kind of interesting dusty blue that I kind of didn't have a choice, that's also kind of green. Like I'm not mad. I think it's okay. And then interestingly, I think that the gold here is actually tinted a little bit rose gold. It's not like a super yellow gold. But yeah, that is it. That is this planner. I do think I would recommend ordering from Fallindesign. Again, I'll show their information here. You do have to wait a while if you don't want to pay a lot for shipping, but like, I was cool with that. I hope you're all having a good holiday season in general, assuming you're watching this when I put it out. Otherwise, like, good year, good life, IDK. Everybody have a great day, and thanks for watching.